Greetings.
You broke the silence, Josh.
Wondering who was going to do it.
Yeah. Somebody had to.
Welcome into the non-politically affiliated two-timers show of Election Tuesday, I guess.
No affiliation whatsoever.
Hey, can you flip your hat around, please, Josh?
Yeah, is
No.
there any words on there?
Oh, you got anything on that? Got anything
No.
on that hat?
No,
Flip it around. Come on,
What
big
color
guy.
tie you got there, Josh? I can't quite make it out.
it's blue. Blue.
Let me tell you, it seems that you're kind of torn. Oh, Bulls.
Bulls.
Bulls, eh?
Oh.
Who are you supporting, Clark, there with your green tie there?
Oops. I'm independent. I'm supporting the independent parties of Rockets and U-Base. All those that feel like they don't have a home, that they're not either toilet bowl bound or championship contenders. You know, just the general flock.
Good.
And yourself?
I mean, we celebrate freedom of the chance to win 4 in a row, the power we have, and the freedom to choose which players to play each week.
Are there a lot of teams in the league that don't have that freedom?
Well, we're fighting for it, though. We're fighting to keep that freedom because I feel like our fake commissioner might take it away from us.
It's true. It's true. We should have more heavily featured Dan versus Dave in this one.
Yeah.
Then we get some real opinions. Well, before we get into, I guess, the meat and potatoes of things, was we talk about the path to the championship, the road to the trophy that's in Moresco's background there. Let's get through, the housekeeping chores, the recaps, starting with one that's pretty enjoyable to talk about, and that's myself versus Mitch.
How'd you feel after this week, Clark?
I felt really good. It feels weird to win. It's an emotion that I'm not familiar with. Good to know. We need those updates.
Good.
Felt good to win. It's only the third time I've done it all year, but I look forward to those weeks once a month where I get to enjoy fantasy football.
I mean, it looks like it paid off keeping your boy Jackson, huh?
Yeah, JSN came good this week. Would have been a close match had he not played out quite so well. And Mitch, Mahomes actually playing a great game. He rolled Mahomes over Caleb Williams this week. Came through.
Is there anybody on Mitch's bench that would have taken him over the top here, or made a difference, or is it just kind of?
Which links are clickable? I'm not familiar with clickable links.
Like clickable links.
Clickable links. What?
That's not part of the program.
This is way.
I think there might be something on your device, Waggy.
Yeah, it's
Shut
your
down
problem,
your
Waggy.
computer. I didn't look at Mitch's bench. Actually, I remember when we
I'm gonna
recaps,
I'm gonna guess no.
Yeah,
No, that's just
I think
off
that's
the top
safe.
of my head. He had 8.24 points from Caleb Williams, so he lost 21 points in that position. He had 3.6
could have
from
improved
Dalton
his
Schultz.
defense a little bit with Chicago, but only by 3 points. So,
Everything else, no.
yep. Good news with this one is that we all chose correctly, even though Moresco, you were not present on last week's call due to your loss. We'll get into that in a second. You did also choose correctly.
Good.
This was probably the matchup of the week, and David was actually winning it until Tuesday morning. Was it with the stat correction? Monday morning, maybe?
Monday morning, yeah. Monday morning.
That's painful, man.
He called it too. He called it over the text.
He manifested it.
Yeah.
This one, I can say, the only player David had on his bench that actually scored points that wasn't on a bye or got shut out was Jared Jeudy. And he could have started Jared Jeudy over Watson or over A.J. Brown, which you're never going to do. And he would have won the game.
Do you think Kyler Murray's just playing too much Call of Duty right now, or what's going on?
I think the new COD coming out. What was it? A week and a half ago or something? Yeah.
I mean, but the Cardinals look good.
Why is he only at 5 points though?
I mean,
Come
they
on.
won 29-9. I did not watch this game. I don't know if you all
I
did, but I would
didn't.
assume that this was a run-heavy script, and then their defense actually played fairly well. So I don't think they really needed Kyler to do much, unfortunately. And to Ben's point, no, I don't know if there is a way to audit and make sure that Dan is not nefariously, abusing his commissioner powers.
I think Dave would have caught that though.
Yeah, I like to think so. Maresco with a good intuition here. Maybe Maresco changed it. Who knows? Maybe when you start winning multiple times, Yahoo gives you more and more permissions on the platform.
To be honest, I don't know why I picked Dan there. Don't know why.
Hey, Clark,
Yes, sir.
can we take a quick break real quick? Can you just pull you and Maresco out? I got to do something real quick.
Yeah, sure.
This message is for Callie, Ivy, and Jack. It's time to go to bed, kids. Deuces.
That's it. The show's over. That's all we had time for tonight. 7 minutes, 41 seconds, fastest two timers ever.
Which sponsor paid for that one there?
Yeah.
I don't remember that coming in our inbox.
Don't worry about it.
Are you pocketing it? I'll pocket the money? You're splitting it 3 ways.
We look tomorrow and Josh has got $18 more of fab randomly.
Let's go back to that recap we were about to go over, though.
Back to the recap. This is
Yeah,
the one.
yeah.
We're not going to talk about this that much. We don't need to say anything. Maresco's team looks pretty good. I will ask you this, Maresco. Are you concerned at all about Baltimore either resting their starters because of buys down the line, they've won their division, or a Baltimore player getting hurt, even if it's Lamar, who's not on your team currently?
I mean, yeah, obviously. But I think the biggest thing is if Henry gets hurt, the man's an animal. So hopefully he doesn't. Zay's had his ups and downs, but he's had some great weeks recently. I mean, if you watched our matchup at all, Matt was predicted to win for a long time in this matchup until the end. So it was not like a cakewalk. The match was really close for a long time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think Flowers will play for sure. They might rest Henry. But I'm hoping Hunt keeps some of the work share when Pacheco comes back because I still have him and Ramondre, and I benched Ramondre and he had 19 points or something. So it feels like I have 3 decent backs right now. So, Josh,
what do you see when you look at Maresco's team? Any weak spots? Anything that gives you hope for a playoff run against him, or is it the kind of Maresco and Ryan versus the field?
So I was thinking, Maresco said Derrick Henry is an animal. It's like, what kind of animal is he? Man is a lion. No, I don't see any weaknesses in this man's team.
I was going to say like a rhino, but mine works too. Yeah. Clark, you picks against me?
Yeah, I didn't want you to win. It was a bit of an emotional pick.
That's fair.
I agree with Josh. Your team's kind of silly good. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. So let's go on to a matchup with Josh's team. Tough loss here, Josh. Once again, without looking at your bench, not sure if there's much else you could have done. I know Dak didn't get to play the full game. Not sure that would have mattered either, but solid win for Weggy, honestly.
Yep.
I mean, I think Dak plays that last drive. Maybe it doesn't matter, but I mean, what backup threw a touchdown at the end there.
So Sunday morning, I was a little out of touch. At 12:52, I found out.
Very specific.
Yeah, just remember these things. I found out Brian Robinson was out. I have Eckler on my bench. Okay, interesting. So I was very indecisive, having very little time. I had my sister over at the time, and the last minute, I decided to stick with it. So it ended up costing me. Long story short, if I had started Eckler, I would have
You were considering Eckler over Brees or Eckler over Ladd?
No, I would have put Eckler in my flex, and started either McConkey or Ridley.
It's got
I
to.
will say this, Josh. Go ahead, Marisco.
Well, he also left Hopkins on the bench, which would have added a lot of points. But that's a tough start right now. But now it might not be.
Yeah, it's been a wait and see sort of with him. It's week 2.
Yeah.
So
I was kind of surprised when you benched Brian Thomas though, but it was a good move.
yeah, I was a little worried about the injury.
Solid win from Weggy though. I think complete game across the board. Maybe a little up and down from Mark Andrews, which is something you just got to accept. But Weggy's team looking pretty decent the last couple of weeks.
That's 4 in a row for him.
Yeah, it is.
On a bit of a streak.
From the 1-4 seller to the 5-4. Actually, I think it started right after he joined the show.
Oh, interesting. And Josh, do you remember who you picked this last week in this matchup?
I picked myself.
Contrary to the that continues. That's consistent with the Weggy choosing for you, right? Is it when you choose him, he wins, or when you pick against him, he wins?
When I choose him, he typically wins. So the curse is broken. Great.
Curse is broken. As of now.
Drain the swamp.
This is a rough one. It's a tough one to see for Ben.
Yeah. When you lose to Micah, you know you're struggling. We're just going to say that out
I
there.
mean, Micah, 114 points, his new trade acquisition coming in for him a little bit. Acquisitions plural, should I say?
Yeah, what is Micah? Like 2-1 or 2-2 since that trade?
He might be. He's a win better and a position better than Ben right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like so much is not yes, 100%. I literally, if you were not watching the overtime game between the Chiefs and the Bucks,
yeah,
I literally was thinking, I was like, he better call heads, and he called tails, and that cost him. So
he always calls
call
tails,
heads, gentlemen.
Right? Tails never fails. I think he always calls tails. I think Baker is a tails never fails guy.
Not anymore. Not after that. That's like the second time he's done that with Mahomes. And he knew he was going to lose when they won the coin toss. So,
well, I mean, if you believe everything you hear about how much the league likes Patrick Mahomes, perhaps the refs have learned how to manipulate the coin toss to whatever Mahomes requests.
Well, it doesn't matter because the refs missed the linemen jumping early. Offensive linemen jumping early on the last play of the game. So, but yeah, good win for Micah. Tough for Ben. I mean, he's finally, I think, getting McCaffrey back this week.
Mm-hmm. Should be.
I think points against wise, Ben has the most potentially.
Yeah, Ben's high up in
He's
the points against, and he's much better in points for than what his record shows.
Correct. Yep, it's just been he's gone up against teams that score
most
more.
Points against by 50 points in our league right now.
If he had started New York's defense, he would have won.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
kind of crazy. Nobody called this one except the coin.
The coin knew.
Wow, the coin knew.
The coin. Is that a heads or a tails? Is the question, really. Natalie versus Hannah. Hannah pretty much doubling up Natalie's score. Natalie with a lot of goose eggs on the board.
Oh,
rather
boy.
frustratingly so.
Oof.
If you're Natalie at this point, do you try and make moves, Maresco? What do you do?
I mean, you have to, but I mean, I think Chubb coming back really hurt her because Ford got basically pushed to the bench, right? Mm-hmm. And then Moss is on the IR. He was getting taken over by Chase Brown already. I just don't know who she's going to move, to be honest. That's what I would say. Like, she can move Jonathan Taylor probably and Kelsey. But at some point, yeah, you got to start looking for keepers, in my opinion.
I think she gets Nico back too, right? Probably this week, maybe Thursday.
I don't know when
think
he's
it's a
coming
Thursday
back.
night game, or no?
He's not practicing, it says.
So you
But-
think she should already kind of start packing it in?
I mean, if you're not going to pack it in, you got to make a move to like
Right.
rebuff your team. So, I mean, she's not out of it. Obviously, she's 4-5, but I think she's lost. I want to say 4 in a row. Yeah, she's lost 4 in a row. So from
Right.
4-1 to 4-5, she's kind of her and Waggy have switched spots. So,
She also has, outside of Mitch, the lowest points for in the league currently, and one of the highest points against totals.
yeah,
I think she's third highest in points against, with second lowest points for.
Yeah. The one thing too, like Jared Goff is like playing so well, like as an NFL QB right now, and Detroit is just functioning like a freaking machine right now that like I feel like Goff hasn't really had to like go crazy in games. So I think that's kind of like hurting her.
Did you see that stat over the last 6 games?
Yeah.
No incompletions to Sun God since September.
No, not that. But he has 20. They have 28 touchdowns over the last 6 games, and Jared Goff has 24.
yeah.
24 incompletions. It's crazy.
That's sick, dude.
There you go. Hannah's team on the other side of this looking really solid. I think that Devontae move probably helped her get him out of the Raiders system. Saquon is Saquon, and the rest of her team just kind of pretty solid. I mean, a little. You could say Madison is kind of an up and down. Once again, the Raiders are kind of up and down. Probably more of a matchup success story, but her team smoked me the other week, and definitely looks contendery.
She continues to start Darnold, and he continues to produce for her, which I think some of us gave her shit for a while back. So, wrong about that.
He did have that 2-point game a few weeks ago.
I mean, Lawrence is their other option. So
Nah, Darnold's the move. Darnold was a good pickup.
Yeah.
I think you're right there. The Devontae move is starting to pay off for sure. But as long as she has Saquon healthy, she's gonna be all right.
Yep.
we all agreed on this one. Last game, really unfortunate one for Jonesy. A lot of injuries mid-game. Lost some guys for a while, potentially a while at least. Olave, who knows? And Ryan's team, similar to Maresca's this week, actually better than Maresca's this week, but everyone kind of firing on all cylinders, aside from Pitts. But
Drake left the game too, right? I think London left the game.
yeah,
mid-game.
Drake London left the game. He
Very
got
early.
hurt on that touchdown catch.
Olave and Drake left very early in their games.
Yeah, it kind of was.
We were
unfortunate.
texting during this one because it's ironic how much Jonesy and I earlier in the year loved our receivers and loved our receiver depth, and then in the matter of a few weeks, potentially lose all of your receiver depth. Just be running a couple of guys.
Yeah, injuries continue to kind of be the thing that I feel like has affected most of the league in a lot of ways, which is, it's frustrating. It sucks. It's definitely affected some people more than others, but
yeah, it's crazy. Ryan's team, when it does go in full cylinder, how many points he gets.
yeah.
And he chose Connor over Dobbins. Had 24 points on his bench. Sutton had 21 on his bench.
Yeah.
Ryan's team is just insane.
I don't think it's I don't know if you guys have seen the numbers with Achan when 2 is playing. He's basically, he almost averages it's like an insane number of points a game. It's like 20 or 29. Might need to fact check me on that. But I mean, I don't think it's that far fetched to think if Tua hadn't gotten hurt, Ryan might be 9-0. I don't know.
Yeah.
If Tua hadn't gotten hurt, did he start Tua a week he came back?
No, A-Chain. I said the name right.
Achan
yeah.
just
There you go.
produces.
Well done.
when
Nebraska.
Tua-
Hold up. That's a
Thank you.
very good job. Yeah.
Thank you. Achani.
Oh no, no. I think most of us got this one wrong, aside from Maresco. Josh, I don't know what you and I were thinking, or the coin, but we were feeling hot on Jonesy's team after his big points 2 weeks ago.
My record this week is going to be shit.
Funny you should mention. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't good, Josh, but it wasn't that bad. You and I did similarly with Maresco pulling ahead, but something has happened that has yet to have happened in the history of Rocket Your Bakes Pick'em, and that's it. The coin
beat all of us. Oh my! Oh boy!
That's a new low.
And the coin beat anyone that submitted picks. So Weggy had a good pick week as well. He was 5-2 with Maresco, but no one beat the coin. The coin was 6-1 this week.
How was I the only person to pick Ryan?
I don't know. We were really all feeling Jonesy's team.
The coin get the fab?
But no, what we discussed, I went back and checked. We discussed that if the coin ever wins, the fab goes to a pot that continues to grow and gets paid out to the next winner of Pick'em. So I think, Maresco, you weren't on the call, but kind of our standing amount has been around $2 a fab, which is getting steep for me because I don't got much left. But theoretically, there should now be $6 of fab in a pot that will get added on to this week's fab pot and will get paid out as well.
Works for me.
So a lot up for grabs. A lot of us having, Ben, Josh, and I having mediocre pick'em weeks. Josh, we got a lot wrong.
Happens.
Well, let's take a quick break. Actually, you know what? Let's do fab real quick since we're here and we're talking about it. There you go. Maresco and Weggy winner, but really the coin was the winner. Fab this week, we had the highest points in each category, and what we had gone with this week was the defense or special teams with the most points, which unfortunately went to Ryan with the Rams defense. It is worth noting here that David's also LA team had 24 points. So the LA defenses and special teams played very well this week. But Ryan does edge him out by about 5 points to take $5 of fab this week.
Good job, Ryan.
Yay. Hey,
Sound more
Ryan.
enthusiastic. Maresco, you don't have any room to talk. Aren't you still technically number one in the league? And you've won fab like 2 or 3 weeks this year?
I just annoyed he outscored me by 10 points because then he increased his points forward.
To be fair, your all's points against are the lowest in the league, the both of you two, by a margin, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they
Mine?
are. But
Me?
we also have the 2 most points.
No.
forward.
Ryan and
Yeah,
Maresco's both have. They do have solid points for. It's very true.
They have the 2
you
most
also
points
have
forward.
Very low points against.
Yeah, he has number
well,
1 in both, and I have number 2 in both.
It is worth noting, given this is a special path to the championship episode of Two Timers, we have brought in a special, I guess we could call him an expert correspondent to help us dissect some of what's going on in the league, paths to the championship. We bring in our DC local, not DC, but on the Hill local, Chris Jones.
Hello. I'm not fancily dressed the way that you are,
You on vacation, big dog?
but I have certainly a few minutes of thoughts to offer.
Excellent. Let's delve in here. We got a couple great.
I was not tuned in, but happy to offer a few thoughts here in this brief segment. I appreciate you all having me on. And I do think it is down to 2, in my personal opinion. I selected Ryan as the front runner.
Let's pull up some graphics here. We got some stuff we can add to flesh out context and give us a chance to play this nice little new transition song that Ben has made for us.
I'm gonna ride Micah. Hey, Ben, could you please send that to me and also give me some royalties on it? Thank you.
So we did send out some polls earlier today to get a feel for kind of what's going on with the league. Jonesy, we'll kind of let you lead this. This is the breakdown of who the league thinks are the current front runners. Obviously, there's a couple votes for Ryan and Chris, with Micah, shockingly, Dan and Ben also in here. Kind of, what's your base reaction to this? Do you think any of these individuals actually have a path to the championship, or it's really just the 2-horse race?
I think that the field will start to clear soon. There's a lot of noise here, but I think for the most part, there's still 2 clear front runners. Certainly interesting to see quite the breakdown. Who's in the green there?
This one's Ryan, the puke-colored one, and then this
The
like
Moresk.
gross
Yeah,
kind of.
those are
Yeah.
still clear. The clear front runners. If we were to do a ranked choice system, which I believe is what we did on the poll, these would be the top 2 candidates. So I think that's generally accurate. I mean, obviously they're in first and second place. They lead the league in points for, although I'm not far behind still.
Little self-plug there. Okay.
I do think. Well, I actually think that my chances are about to go down over the next few weeks. This might
We were
be,
just talking about your receiver woes.
yeah, this might be the beginning of the end for me. Not dissimilar to this country, but
Well,
I
as we move right along, I'm curious your opinion here. This is who kind of sentimentally has the support of the league. Obviously, Micah showing out with a good number of individuals rooting for Micah. Individuals were given the option to pick several options here. The main thing I want you to comment on is this big old fat 0 that one of the co-hosts has, and what you think the reasoning for that might be.
That one can be hard to explain. I mean, everyone seemed to get fairly equal distribution. Mika with the sympathy vote, but
Mine was not a sympathy vote for Micah.
You probably had a vote
trying to send me trades next year.
That's that one for you.
They can't-
But
I
not
won't
even
look
Josh
at
put himself in the poll.
Well, I didn't vote.
Well, that demonstrates the importance of voting. I just would like that.
We see Josh's
Everyone
true
knows
colors
all
here.
what
his
the
poll votes
consequences are.
Josh decides not to vote.
Of not voting. Frankly, it's unacceptable. But clearly he has from the very beginning of the league in the off season been among the top the top nemesis or top villains of the league. So I think this clearly reflects that.
I would agree.
Do you think him
next chart we
trying
have-
to be? Do you think him trying not to become the villain is hurting him even worse now?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But he didn't make much.
This is a humble LeBron situation.
Yeah, I'm just.
It's like the league. is trying to
The
kick me
next
out.
graphic that we have. Well, we'll get to that, Josh. That's a different poll. But which state do you think, or which area, locale, do you think the winner will come from? And surprisingly, for the support to Moresco, this is overwhelmingly in favor of Virginia as a winner.
Wow.
So maybe that speaks
Yeah.
to the strength of Ryan.
Technically,
Or
I'm a
the-
Virginia resident. Just saying.
Yeah,
You have a Virginia
That
driver's
was-
license still?
I kind of hedged. I put Virginia on my vote. I will say, I'll admit. That was a Ryan, me, and I. Only after I selected that did I think about the fact that there's only one Maryland option here, and so We could just select DMV, but then I guess DC also. Who lives in DC?
Natalie.
Oh, Natalie.
Yeah.
She was also like in the Virginia vote, in my mind. DMV.
Dan also
Block,
represents Virginia
brother block.
currently.
I'd like to make
Yeah,
a point.
Dan. Yeah, Dan.
Josh
Virginia.
ahead,
is
Josh.
as well.
DC is not a state.
It
Doesn't have to be a
not-
state.
neither is
The
mean,
question
Eng-
is a little deceiving.
England is
Question is
England is
deceiving.
here.
neither is
Well, it
England.
depends on how you define a state. We're not talking about United States, but maybe a governed state.
All
Now,
the
DC
question
did have
said
electoral
was,
votes.
Which state will the winner
England,
come from?
England does not.
Ben makes a good point. Virginia's not a state either.
Commonwealth.
That's true.
Thank you, Parsons.
All right. Yeah, I
Moving
think
right along, though.
the majority of the folks in the league are still Virginia, I think. Although it's fairly equal
It's
distribution.
only 3 or 4 of you.
Yeah,
It's Ryan,
but it's still the majority.
you, Dan. Is that it?
Josh.
And Josh. Yeah.
Josh now. That's right, Josh. Yeah.
Jaden.
Actually, before we move on to this next bit, it's a good segue into this very unrelated representation chart of the country and where people's support seem to be coming from. So I can do a little zooming here so it's easier to see. But if we look over at the key on the right-hand side, you can kind of see the Eastern Seaboard and how things are going. Ryan seems to have, Kentucky, Virginia support kind of held together. Maresco gets Delaware for some reason, don't know why, and then obviously Maryland as well. And then he's really popular in the Midwest. Don't quite understand why quite yet, but some states there that are still up for grabs. If we continue through this chart, we'll see that Josh is popular in Illinois, where he used to reside, and gets part of Wisconsin's support. Jonesy, you quite firmly have 2 prime locations, and that's DC and California.
Hey,
Makes sense.
So once again, this has no real bearing on the league, but interesting to take a look at kind of how the country divides itself in terms of support for each prospective competitor.
I'm sorry, is Josh smoking a cigar inside?
I'm outside.
Oh, okay.
Just the way Josh rolls these days.
Responsible usage.
My house, my rules.
True.
We will note that Matt,
where's your
for some
support
reason, the southern bit of Florida. Hannah has the northern bit of Florida, and then Arizona, and a little bit of Oklahoma, and that's pretty much it.
I appreciate you lopping off North Florida. I think that's
Yeah, I don't think I can claim any bit of that. And then if we look at this white with red, this is Matt. He's very popular in Colorado, part of Texas, Rhode Island, and then he's got Ohio all to himself. So not quite sure why, but apparently Matt's popular in
Bengals.
Ohio.
the Bengals.
That's right. There you go. And then Weggy has Pennsylvania and the northern chunks of New York, with Mitch kind of cleaning up in New York City, New Jersey. Sorry, Parsons.
We
and
would
then Maine
expect
as
that,
well.
although I would like to offer that I would make a run, given my love for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, at West Pennsylvania.
Okay,
Firm
People did not
block
speak for you. People did
Philadelphia
not speak
Eagle
for you.
fan Kevin Wegman, who I actually think I will make a plug, is a dark horse candidate to take the league. I was looking at his team and think that he has a pretty sneaky team.
Yes, to Ben's point here, it is worth noting Jonesy would win Mexico and Canada as well. I tried to add those onto this map, and it said those countries don't count. So for whatever reason, couldn't add them.
Did Jonesy win Puerto Rico?
I would have won Puerto Rico first off. But
Maybe Joshy.
Josh still has. It is worth noting here that if we take a closer look, which we can't necessarily look at any of the votes, Josh still has support of Illinois despite Mitch's valiant attempt this year to wholeheartedly and singularly support and endorse the Bears. Josh still edged him out.
Take that, Mitch.
Also, one other thing to note is that for some reason, Dan is extremely popular in Minnesota and Georgia. No coincidence that those are the two states that Kirk Cousins has played the majority of his football career in a meaningful way.
That makes sense.
But yeah, we can end the use of this ridiculous map. But just to give you a picture of irrelevant colors when it comes to Rocket Senior Base football. Finishing up the poll here. That's true. He was instrumental in working through the prison system's data. So, little known fact. Key factors. Biggest factor in this year's championship run. Maresco, we'll let you kind of react or respond to this one. You see a number of things that are potentially targeted at you or your squad. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, whoever wrote King Henry smart, probably the smartest person in the league. But whoever wrote Luck, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I don't think there's any luck in winning fantasy football championships.
Bullshit.
Lucky Charms and Picky. Hey, KP, no one invited you to this call. Okay.
Yes, he is invited as well.
I'm holding the stream on my phone so that Chris can see. I'm zoomed in on the poll for him. So
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm sorry. That was
I was
a little-
wondering who the third viewer is. We normally don't have all three of them.
It's a little aggressive.
It's more
Chris.
than we normally get.
The Lucky Charms and Pixie Dust once again. Not true. Defense and who can stay healthy. I mean, true. I think staying healthy and health are very. You take those words out of your mouth, Ben. Anyways, health I think is a big thing. Like Clark, Jonesy are going through it, right? Like you lose some key players, and it's hard. Fantasy, like especially in a 14-man league, replenishing those guys. Like my other league, right? I can find receivers and stuff that are going to put up 15, 20 points when I need to. But Jaden Daniels, it's not true. I mean, he's playing good, but when you have Kirk Cousins that's better than him, you play him over Jaden Daniels. So it's not gonna play a factor. So, but yeah, interesting responses. Disagree with some, agree with some.
I think
We can kind of breathe.
health and luck are kind of in the same category, to be fair.
yes.
So
Disagree with that, but yeah, okay. Anyways, on to the next one.
We don't have to necessarily touch much on position. Seems like the league thinks that running backs are extremely important in the league. Josh, would you agree with that, or would you refute that perspective at all?
What was the question again?
Just that the league
It's on
seems
the
to think
poll.
running backs are the most critical position.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Especially this year. I don't feel like that's been the case in years past, but
you look at the data.
the data shows, yeah,
The data shows that the
Running backs
best
are-
teams have the best running backs this year, and the worst teams have the worst running backs. Like
Yeah.
it's actually a pretty clear cut. I mean, obviously it's not that simple, but I think it is definitely
Slightly more
the
complicated.
most important.
Yeah.
Now in the playoffs,
I mean, there was a vote in
anything
here for
can happen.
kickers.
that's true. I know that was your vote, Clark.
Maybe. Rounding out the polls from the people's polls, we got who we think is going to be battling it out in the toilet bowl. Once again, Josh absent from this vote as well, as is Jonesy and David and Weggy, the only four that did not have a vote
Matt.
to be in the toilet bowl.
Yeah,
And
Matt's
well-
in there too. But yeah.
Oh, Matt, 0. Sorry. Yep. 5 of them.
Interesting that people think me and Ryan might be battling it out in the toilet bowl.
It's hopeful.
Yeah, that would be a collapse like we've never seen.
Wholeheartedly disagree with that statement.
How very political of you. Good job, Bresco.
Ben
Thank
at
you.
2.
I'm trying to stay in the
I
middle.
think Mike is likely to be in there. It looks like Natalie got a couple votes as well. Tied with Mitch.
Yeah, surprised Mitch isn't
An
higher on this poll. I guess
Yeah.
Josh didn't. Josh has been hard on Mitch's team, and as he already said, he didn't reply to this. He didn't vote. So I think if Josh had been in here, maybe Mitch would have had 5 or 6 votes. Josh just spamming the replies, but
Yeah, sure. Shitty team.
But all it takes
well, that's
is
all we
one
got.
blow up week from the Bears to win in the playoffs. And he's out.
But he needs the Bears to blow up a lot to get to the playoffs.
Not the playoffs, but to avoid the toilet bowl.
The playoffs.
Oh,
Playoffs.
yeah.
The consolation.
Well, Jonesy,
Anyhow,
we know you're busy. You're obviously welcome to stay on, but don't want to keep you. I know you got some plans over the next coming days.
all right. Yeah, I got to run, but I appreciate y'all having me on. And in all seriousness, certainly with everything going on, it's nice to be able to take your mind off things, think about some fantasy football. It's been just a great time to be able to enjoy, hanging out with friends and catching up with folks and talking fantasy, getting into it. I've certainly been very into it this year, so as Kristen knows.
I've been in it too.
And it's always fun, and so I appreciate y'all doing this. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, Jonesy.
Thanks for
just
hopping
wanna-
on.
Before you leave,
Oh yeah,
offer me a trade if you want. Just throwing it out there.
I wish everyone who I traded with the best of luck this year, because again, the Lucky Charms and pixie dust seems to strike whoever I trade with. So
KP told you weeks
Not
ago,
to do
don't
it.
do it.
I actually feel fairly well. I mean, I certainly got lucky, and health worked out in my favor in this regard. But I feel a little vindicated about seeing the tea leaves with CJ Stroud. That's all I'm gonna say.
This week comes back. This week, Nico Collins is back. Fingers crossed.
That
Yeah,
should,
I agree.
that should make a big difference. To be fair.
I think that you did well there, especially with Rachaad White kind of having a bit of a receiving role resurgence with no receivers being available in Tampa Bay.
Right.
So, well, best of luck to you, Jonesy. We'll let you run. We will continue on here.
Sounds good. See ya.
See ya. On the topic of trades, we did kind of dig through the archives. It was played briefly earlier, but not heard very well. We got this from a certain league member last year who has been, well, I'll just let you listen to it and then we'll react.
Don't even bother trying to send me trades next year. I'm going to immediately I won't even look at them. Don't
One more
even bother trying to send me trades next year. I'm going to immediately I won't even look at them.
So that was from rookie at the time, Micah, last season. Clearly, things may have changed for him. Josh or Maresco, any insight onto why he might have changed his viewers' approach this season?
I mean, I think he's trying to stay competitive, which I appreciate. I think some of the trades he's doing, I mean, it paid off this week, right? So I think he's maturing in front of us, and it's a beautiful sight to see.
Our boy's grown up.
It's gonna make me cry if I talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
All right, we will move on. You don't think that any of his trades have been suspect in any way?
I think the Pickens one is still up for debate. But again, history says you kind of have to sort of wait these things out to sort of see, because things don't always play out the way that you think they will. It's so easy to just kind of get attached to the name. So I think it's kind of TBD to see how that Pickens trade turns out.
Yeah. I mean, I think he needed a quarterback in that situation, right? So Yeah, it was basically Pickens or Smith, which is a big trade to make, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just going through the trades right now and seeing some of these. I never saw that veto trade from Ben to Dan.
Which one?
Dan tried to trade Ben Luke McCaffrey for Raheem Mostert, and it got vetoed for some reason.
Oh, that was a long time ago, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, I think, a joke.
For yes, Ben, we're waiting on it. You're the one that has the
Raheem
answers.
Mostert.
Ah.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
Interesting. Okay.
When's trade deadline in the league?
We'll say end of November. It's after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Might be the
So we got some
weekend
time.
after Thanksgiving.
It's like 2 or
29th.
3. I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks before the playoffs.
I can tell you in a second here.
While you're pulling that up, I'll pull this up. So we got to do fab for this week. Any ideas for categories, Maresca?
November 30th is the trade deadline. What can we do this week? Something alongside politics. I don't know. I'm out of ideas.
I mean, we could do like the worst performers in every team. Last week we did best. We could do like tight end lowest points, kicker lowest points, blah blah blah. But we should make it a little more interesting.
Ben does have an idea of putting everyone in the wheel. We could do that as well. Might take a little bit of time.
We could put everyone in the wheel, but then it doesn't do anything to the fantasy performance this week, right?
That is true. Yeah.
It just gives someone fab.
Yeah.
I like the idea, but
I like the worst performance. I think we just stick with that. Worst performing every position.
We'll do it. We'll still keep it consistent. And we'll keep this one separate as well.
I like that.
I just didn't want to write things out fully. Worst is not open to interpretation, and it's not the worst person or the worst looking. It's the lowest number of points. Should we put Mitch in? What do you guys think?
Backs up.
We've been putting Micah in.
Yeah, we should probably start putting Mitch in there. Team's it's pretty shitty.
All right. To be fair, it's worth noting that Mitch has $101 of fab.
It's fine.
So
200 fab is not going to do anything for him. He won't be able to save his season.
Right. So we'll put him in here because I think the consistency is important. But not sure that there'll be enough to spend that fab on unless he's willing to start trading people fab for players, which I guess could be a thing as people are close to out of fab. So your worst flex doesn't if you have this isn't going to count for any wide receiver, running back, tight end. It has to be in your flex position. Ben, we are a little bit behind on all of your things. Mitch and I, yes, we get it. But as you stated before, your points for are significantly higher, so you're not technically as bad as Mitch. So we're going to give Mitch the pass this week. Maybe if you lose and you have the worst record in the league, we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I think the only other things we have to do here are going to be our picks for the week, which means the league also completing picks for the league. Let me grab the thing to send out to everyone, and we'll get to it. You guys looking forward to anything in particular over the weekend with regards to players you have in, or dreading anyone that's on bye or out?
Just trying to get a win. My main thing right now.
All right. Do we want to predetermine the pot for this week? What are you guys thinking?
Good with 3 fab.
Didn't realize I was on mute there. I was saying I played Ryan this week, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. That's going to be one to watch.
Matchup of the week.
All right.
We agreeing on 3 fab? I cannot do 3 fab. I'll do 2 fab.
2 fab's
so if
fine.
y'all want to go above that, you can, but I'm good with 2 just because my fab is
2.5.
Absolutely not. All right, I sent it out. We will go Josh, Moresco, me, and so forth.
I will go Clark.
I'm also going Clark.
I'm also going myself. Oh, we got to do a coin, don't we? So we have no guest. We will go Queen, Clark, Flowers, Natalie. Queen, the coin is going with myself. A little 4 and 5 matchup, a little 8-9 matchup. I actually think it's worth noting that a number of the matchups this week, Natalie and I are 1 position apart. David and Matt are 1 position apart. Obviously, Moresco and Ryan 1 position apart. A lot of inter-table struggles this week. But that's beside the point.
I'm gonna go Matt. I just think David's dealing with, like, who knows if AJ plays. Some of these other injuries he's dealing with.
Yeah, I think CD is a question mark as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Dak's not playing, so.
I think I'm going to go, I don't know. Burrow against Baltimore and Murray against the Jets make me want to go Dave, but I guess he'll probably be throwing a lot. So, yeah, I will go Matt.
Baltimore is very beatable through the air.
Yeah.
So I will go Matt.
We will go Queen is Matt, Flowers David. Coin is going David. Then we got Mitch versus Weggy. I'm first. I'm going Weggy.
Weggy.
We'll go Flowers, Weggy, Queen, Mitch. It is Queen. The coin is going with Mitch. Then we have Dan versus Hannah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh, this will be
An
a fun
interesting one.
I'm going to go Hannah.
Josh, I think it's you. Okay.
I'm also going to go Hannah. I just don't like that Pittsburgh matchup for Washington.
I agree. I'm going Hannah. I think Hannah's team is playing very well right now. We'll go Queen, Dan, Flowers, Hannah. Flowers, Hannah. So at least from us, it's a sweep for Hannah. Next, we've got a beat-up Jonesy squad going against Ben. This is to you, Moresco. We're assuming McCaffrey's coming back as well.
Yeah, no. If not, is backup healthy?
Mason? I don't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a designation.
I'm going Ben.
That's you. That's right.
No, it's me. I still think that Chris's team, I don't know. No, I'll go Ben. I'm going to go Ben. I think he's got the potential to put up a lot of points, and he has been unlucky this season. I think it comes through at some point.
I'll go Ben.
We'll go Queen, Ben, Flowers, Jonesy. Flowers. Coin goes Jonesy with the breakaway. And then our last matchup of the night. Nope, sorry. Second to last matchup. The 1 and 2, the heavy hitters. No real significant buys, I don't think either. I think you guys are almost full strength this week. Maresco?
Only person I'm missing is Jaden Reed, but
Yeah.
Mm,
So you're plugging Ramondre. This is tough because I really do feel like, as we've seen this season, either of your teams can go off for a lot of points. And it could be, Ryan puts up 120 and you put up like 145. So I'm just going to go strictly by position. I'm going to go with Maresco.
it's kind of crazy if you look at our matchup, like all the players, they're very close. Projections.
Josh, it's your pick.
I'm gonna go Ryan. Malik Neighbors is gonna go off against Carolina.
I'm going to go myself.
We'll go Queen, Maresco, Flowers, Ryan. It is Queen. Coin goes Maresco. And that does bring us to our final matchup, a little brotherly matchup. A potentially surging Micah against Josh squad. Josh, it is your pick first here.
I'll go myself.
I'm going Josh as well.
Yeah, I'm also going Josh. We'll go Queen, Josh, Flowers, Micah. Queen, it is Josh. So everything wrapped up there, going for Josh. Make sure you hit submit on the forum. Free fab up for grabs. Could be the coin winning more. And then, pot continues to grow. That's all we got, though, guys. I haven't clicked to end the stream yet.
Oh, okay. Damn it. Good luck to you all. Clark, get a second
Same
win
to
in a
both of
row. Get back into the contention. Josh, keep losing and keep sucking.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
You guys both look great. Enjoy playing fantasy. To Jonesy's sentiment, it's good to have something fun to do. Theoretically, it's not too emotionally painful, but yeah. Best of luck to everyone. We'll see what happens.
We'll see you next time.